when we try to explain the particular values that physical variables have, we might appeal to sort of other physical forces or mechanics, fields, however we might construe that. Um, and I guess sort of explain the values that we can observe by appealing to more fundamental physical variables. But of course, those then stand in need of an explanation. If you continue trying to furnish a physical explanation, you kind of run into a wall where you either have to say, well, this is a brute fact, or you have a regression of some kind. And the kind of explanation that's needed is one that transcends physicality, something that's based in necessity, not in contingency. And physics, I would always identify with contingency, things that could be otherwise, could be other than they are, could have values different to what they do. And I think that, the idea of an infinite regression of contingency is logically problematic, and that problematic nature becomes significantly more noticeable once you sort of are using it in an ontological context or a metaphysical context. Because, the idea of an infinite chain where each prior link in the chain sort of justifies the existence of the next link, at no point does any link in the chain justify that there should be a chain. Why is there a chain at all? There's no way in that framework to explain the existence of the chain, which is ultimately the question. Why is there something at all? So it doesn't seem right to me to appeal to an infinitely regressing chain of contingencies as a way of explaining the fact of contingency, because we're just never given an explanation. And there's a number of analogies that I think really illustrate this point well. My favorite one is probably the sniper analogy. Imagine you have a sniper, he's got eyes on the target, he's ready to go, ready to fire. But before he can fire, he has to radio into his immediate superior and get confirmation that, it's all good, go ahead, take the shot. Now, the thing is, his immediate superior also has to radio into his immediate superior, and so on, right? And then the question is, well, does the bullet ever get fired? And the usual thought is that unless there's an end as the request goes up the chain, then the confirmation can never begin to come down the chain. And that confirmation coming down the chain is like conferring existence onto things. So when we talk about an infinite regression, the idea is that existence is passed along the chain, but unless there's some stopping point, something non-contingent, something self-existent, then there's no existence to pass on, basically.